Hey there.
Oh, hey, hey.
Hold on. Let me see.
Wow. That's a beautiful picture,
You think so? Come on over, baby. Now we're gonna see if this gonna work.
though.
This is some getting used to.
Yes, yes, yes. For those of you that just checking in, and as you come on, this is Terrence and Jill,
Yeah,
A
those.
God-Ordained Union.
Yes, those who are gonna catch the replay. We're a
Hmm.
little late. Oh shoot. Hey there.
How's it going, everybody? It's
I,
Terrence and
you know
Jill.
what? How do I put in? Oh, okay. Thank you for putting that in there. Hello, hello. We was try we was trying to figure all of this out.
Yes, yes.
We used to go live on StreamYard, and we just started going live straight through the app. So it's gonna take some getting used to. So y'all please bear with us. And
Right.
then last week we why the light keep going in and out?
Because every time you move that, you change the angle that the light hits
I don't like that.
it. Well, we just have to get set up earlier. So it's set up when the time comes and we just hit start.
This feels awkward.
Hmm.
Come on in, baby. Come in. Hey y'all. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Welcome. Greetings from Charlotte, North
Yes, yes,
Carolina.
yes.
Thank y'all for tuning in. If this is your first time on our channel, hey, Asia Hicks. This is your first time on our channel. We're Terrence and Jill, the God-Ordained Union. Hey, Katrina Lewis. Y'all drop y'all cities. Let us know where y'all are. If y'all in the Charlotte area, let us know so we can meet up and break bread together. Oh wow. Hey from Barbados. Uh I love the work you two are doing. Thank you, Faith Walk, Laquanda. Oh, Washington State, Southern California, Rochester, New York. I know that's right. I know that's right. So welcome to our channel.
Yes, y'all, this is Terrence and Jill, God-Ordained Union. And like we've always said, our mission is to simply increase kingdom marriages. And we're doing it on here just by our own testimony, what we've learned, our experiences. We don't
Mm-hmm.
give relationship, marriage advice at all,
No.
but
We
we do talk about what we went through and what we've
mm-hmm.
learned when we were in God's waiting room, where you are now.
Yeah, so we like to believe that we mastered dating and being single and waiting. So if you're on this channel, on this video, you're probably tired of
Yeah,
waiting. We were there.
yeah. We know exactly how
We were
you feel.
there. We were there. And then you start to question yourself, you start to doubt
Mm,
and all of that. But as I've said in many videos, I still believed in the power of love. You're in your waiting season. Terrence calls it Uncle T. Uncle T, because a lot of y'all keep referring to us as Auntie and Uncle. So Uncle T. Uncle T calls it the elevation room.
yes.
And let me tell y'all something. Do not rob yourself of your single season. Don't rob yourself in your single season when you don't have nobody yet and you going to find looking for wedding dresses and looking through it's going to be a time for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You going to have trust me, don't rob yourself of that moment when it comes. In your single season, max out on your single season.
Yes, because
That's
there's some things you need to learn
yes.
while you're still single, and if you stop living to focus on something that God is just beginning to prepare you for, you're going to miss out on a lot of lessons that you should learn, which means you may have to go through and experience some things that you don't want to go through. That's going to prolong you meeting your God ordained mate.
Yes. Or you might have to learn those lessons in that first 1 or 2 years of
Ooh,
marriage, which
adds more
can,
complications.
yes, which can be detrimental because it's already an adjustment period, those first 2 years of marriage. So enjoy your single season. And I know it's easier said
Mm-hmm.
than done.
Yeah,
And who are y'all to tell us what to
yeah,
do now? But trust me, we've been there.
yeah.
You recently subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you all for
Yes.
all your like y'all like we really go through your comments. So we thank you all for all the comments. We're going to answer some questions tonight because
Yes.
it's so many questions that were going through when we were going through the comments that we wanted to bring here. We're going to bring 4 questions to the table tonight, but we'll also give you some time to answer to ask some questions, and hopefully we can answer. We ain't got all the answers. Like every love story is different.
Every two people are different.
Every two people, and that's the power of love. We could tell you what we went through. We could tell you what the word of God says, but everything else, God is writing your specific love story. And let me tell you something. Don't let nobody tell you that you're too old to get married. None of that.
You're too anything to
You're
get
too
married.
anything, because God ordains marriage, and He glad you want it, because He wants you to want it. And so if you want it, prepare for it. And part of that preparing is enjoying your single season right now.
Yes.
So the first question that came up by Debug, I don't know
Yes.
if you on here, Debug, but Debug wrote a question about, he asked, when do we think is the best time in the dating season to talk about finances?
And my answer to that is, you don't need to have that conversation until you both are committed to each other. To she's the one, he's the one, and you guys are definitely getting married.
Yeah.
Because that's when you have to come together to figure out how you going to operate your household.
Yeah. There's some things also communication wise.
Mm-hmm.
There's some silent communication I think a lot of people miss, but you can tell somebody's
Yeah.
finances in the getting to know phase just by how they spend money, you know, their talk around money.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no need to have like, well, what do you do with your finances? What is your credit score? What is
Yeah.
this? What is that?
Yeah.
What is that? I mean, I think if the conversation comes up, let it be organic.
Yes.
But interviewing somebody, well, I need to know how much money do you make, and
Yeah.
and when was the last time you filed taxes,
Yeah.
and
You doing investments?
are you investments?
You don't need to know that in the first two
and
or three dates.
yeah,
In the
you
first
just
two or three
don't.
dates, you should be wondering if you like that person enough to see them again.
Right, right. Which goes into the second question. A lot of you had a question about expectations, because that was our thing. I think this goes over a lot of people's head when we say we did not have any expectations. And that does not say that we didn't have standards or values. It's saying that we didn't have any. We freestyled the relationship. We did not have, well, I expected you to call on Thursday.
Yeah.
You didn't call me on Thursday. You said you were going to call at 9. And so that's a good question. We'll get to that question. And so, yeah, so we didn't have any expectations. Anything you want to say? We just freestyled. Like, we
Yeah.
just.
Here's the thing. So many people try to put their relationship in these boxes that society says they're supposed to be in. And society ain't dating you. Society ain't dating the person that you're trying to date. Y'all are trying to date each other. So what we're saying by not having expectations, we're not saying that we both didn't, like she said, that we both don't have standards and all of this stuff. Oh, we do.
And
We
we
do.
did.
And we did. But what we didn't do was say, well, according to such and such, I got 20 questions that we need to go over on this particular conversation or this date. Or we have to go here and spend X amount of money in order for this date to qualify as a date. We didn't have those types of expectations. And we didn't try to, and as a result, we didn't try to impress each other with false representations of each other. We was just being true to who we were and enjoying who we were.
And it was so brilliant when we were dating, it was during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing was open. So when restaurants started to come open, the first and only restaurant in my neighborhood that was open was Chili's.
Yeah.
And that was our first dinner date, like
Yeah.
outside of the house, was at Chili's, and it was the most beautiful. Now, these days we don't have a problem with spending $500 at dinner. Like we love fine dining.
Yeah.
We have no problems with it. But Chili's, till this day,
Mm-hmm.
Chili's was probably our best date ever. And
Yeah.
we went a couple of months ago to that same Chili's. We took a ride back up to my old home, and we had a date at Chili's,
Mhm.
and that it yeah it yeah, like we didn't have any. Well, he's supposed to
Mhm.
pay for the food, and I mean he did, but there was no expectations. Okay, and these days, as far as finance and expectations, the biggest expectation is that we know the economy is horrible. And so if we can't afford to buy eggs these days, I wouldn't expect him in this climate to take me out to a
Mhm.
7-star restaurant. Like if he did, that was wonderful, but I never had we didn't have those expectations until the up until the point where I said, when he proposed, I was like, "What?" I didn't have any expectations. I didn't expect him to propose. I had no. We freestyle, like we were long distance, 2 hours away. I never had expectations. Well, I expected you gonna come, up to my house next weekend, but he came. But we had no. We didn't say what we should be doing and how it should be going and what our title was.
Mhm.
None of that. We freestyled the relationship. We freestyled it, and it took so much pressure off. Like it was a very fun time.
Yeah, by the time stuff started opening back up, we really had a great foundation because we wasn't trying to impress each other.
We weren't trying to impress each other at all.
Especially when you get up to around our age. It's like, look, I am who I am. She is who she is. Either
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna like each other raw or we're not.
We're not, and so we had no, and that's what we mean by no expectations.
Yeah.
And so,
It's not putting unnecessary pressure on yourself when it's not required.
well, he didn't call. Why didn't you call? I was
Yeah.
expecting you to call last night. I mean, well, he
But
didn't.
here's the thing that also made all of this work. And we've said this thousands of times, and that is God has been in this from the beginning, since before the beginning. Before we met, God was already in it.
Before we were born,
So
he had already
it
planned it
wasn't
out.
even about us trying to impress each other because we knew God was ordering our steps.
Hmm. So, yeah, that's what we mean by no expectations.
Yeah.
Like, we like we said, our first conversation, our first phone call, our first few weeks, we text. We didn't
Mhm.
even text. We DM'd each other through Facebook.
Yeah.
We didn't have any, and then when we did talk on the phone, which was the day after Thanksgiving, that very first conversation was so funny. Was so funny. Like it was just we laughed. I found out he was an avid, like a fierce spades player. And that first conversation, I was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna love to play spades with my mother. My mother loves my mother and my grandfather. I bet you can't beat them." And that's how our
Yeah.
conversation was. "Oh, you got to play them because they're gonna love this." And so that's how our. And then he started talking about, was a lot. His mother had, 7 kids. It's seven,
Hmm.
right? 7 kids, and so she created games
Hmm.
where they all play. In that first conversation, I learned he loves to share. He loves his sisters and brothers. All of that. It was like nonverbal communication. Like I was racking it in. Oh, he's generous. He's smart. He loved to play chess. He's shrewd. All of that I could pick up on. I didn't have to ask a lot of questions. So yeah. Um. Okay. So I missed that disappeared. The other question. So that was finance. Debug wanted to know about finance. A lot of you wanted to know about
Hmm.
expectations, and then somebody asked this question, and we gotta talk about it. They asked, "What was our thoughts on homosexuality?"
You want me to go? Great, I'll go. Here's the thought on on homosexuality. The Bible says that we are to love the person, hate the act,
The sin.
the sin. So, with that being said, my whole thing is God gives free will. In free will, people are going to pick and choose to do what they want to do. It doesn't mean we have to love the sin, but it do remain that we need to love the person.
Yes. Yes.
And at any given moment, we still can direct them back to Christ.
Yes. So when we talk about so I'm assuming they meant same sex
Mm-hmm.
relationships. So if we're saying God ordained
Mm-hmm.
unions, does that also include same sex? Um, God ordained union, we like to believe it's God's perfect will,
Yeah,
but God also gives his permissive will, and that's your choice.
that's your choice.
Your choice. He says, I put before you life and death,
Mm-hmm.
but choose life. And so a same sex couple cannot produce life. But he said, I'm going to give you over to your choice. And so anything that is used other than God's perfect will and perfect purpose, you gotta question. So if you just look at the anatomy and the biology of a man and a woman coming together
Mm-hmm.
and how God created it to perfectly fit, then you have to accept the truth that same sex does not fit. That's just that God did not intend it for that purpose. So, for instance, a tree, for instance, somebody can cut a tree down and say, I'm going to take this tree and I'm going to make it into a car. So they can take that tree, they can put wheels on it, and it can drive like a car, but it won't go that far because that's not the intended purpose for that car. It's not the intended purpose. So anything that you are changing,
Mm-hmm. Is true purpose. See,
change it
God
from its
told us
true
our
purpose.
purpose is one of the purposes is to populate the earth. You can't do that in the same sex marriage.
Right. So if yeah, so if you're anything that's out of the context of its purpose,
Mm-hmm.
you got to kind of say, well, that's not what God intended the purpose for. It does not mean that we don't love the couple or love the
Right.
person. And I think that that's where the disheartening part comes in. Because like, nah, that's not what we ain't called to hate people. Like every day,
Mm-hmm.
all day, is couples get married that is not God's perfect will.
Mm-hmm.
Men and women, men, female and female. That's not God's perfect will. It's his permissive will though.
Right.
But do we hate them? Like,
No.
y'all crazy. Like that's not what we're doing. That's not. I think we missed the whole
Mm-hmm.
point. And so that's what we're gonna say about homosexuality. It's it's not God's perfect will, but He allows you to choose.
I want
So,
to add this too because I think it relates to what we're talking about to an extent. There was a comment that I read today, and the woman was saying that why is God allowing the devil to force us to do sinful things? And he's not. God gave us free will. And the devil's job is to steal, deceive, and all. So he's going to do his job. What we do with our free will is up to us. And I think what some people forget is that they will make a choice to do something and then say, why God let this happen. God is not going to go against his own word to prevent you from having the free will that he gave you.
He will not
He won't
override
override
your law
his own law
that
for
He gave
you
you.
when he gave you free will.
He gave us free
Yeah,
will.
he wants us to choose him by choice. He don't want us to choose him because he forced us to.
Right, right.
So we have to remember that so we can stop blaming God on some things that we chose to do ourselves.
Right. Can you come into the frame?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the part nobody wants to. I mean, that's His word. He said, "I
Yeah.
put before you life and death." He said, "But choose life." So if you choose, a heterosexual, you're choosing life. You're choosing to produce life. If you take that tree and make it a car, you cut the tree from its root.
Mm-hmm.
You literally cut. It is dead now. It's not no longer used for its intended purpose.
Exactly.
And so
you can water that all you want. That car ain't gonna grow.
it ain't gonna grow. It ain't gonna grow. And so and that's the hard truth. The thing though, I do feel for homosexuality and that whole the act and the whole lifestyle is that there is a strong spirit of rejection that is around a lot of those who are in that lifestyle, and it's so sad because they're shunned, they're rejected, and the Bible says we are born into sin. So if someone says I was born like this, they're true. That's true. We are born a lot. We are born into sin, and so some of a lot of people are coming in through the womb, with drug addiction. So many things that a, a, a lot of things. We're born into sin. We're all coming into a sinful nature world. That's why we got to be reconciled with Christ. And so please know it's not ain't no hate from here.
Yeah.
But we have to also say that yes, some are born through sinful parents. It's just like I say, we're born into a world of sin. So we are coming in with some stuff on our back.
Right.
We are coming in with some stuff on our back. Yeah, rejection, abuse, fear, confusion. Yeah, it's so, and to just continue to reject and shun them from church, and it's just so sad. But yeah. All right, then we have another question, the final question that we have, that we want to read this to you because this one is kind of deep. This one is not a long question, but it's deep. And so I want y'all to hear this question. Okay, this person says it's a male, it's a guy. Yes, we gotta love them. He says, this guy says, I'm a divorced man, 43 years old. I'm a man of God, and I'm saved, and I believe in Jesus Christ. I met a woman, and we are currently in a relationship. She's a believer as well. Our relationship is going pretty well, and we are getting along. I want to know, how do I truly know that she's the one for me? Young lady, I hope you don't know who this is.
That's a mouthful, isn't it? So you want to give them the answer, my love?
You give the, I mean,
Here's the answer
that
that
you
we
believe.
believe is the correct answer, and that is because he's been divorced. There may be some type of soul ties that he hadn't been delivered from his first marriage that could be preventing him from hearing from God, which is why he don't know the answer. That's what we feel is going on with him.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I can say, because it happened to me. I've heard of generational curses. I've heard of things like that coming up, but I did not learn what I know now about them until after she and I got together. And we started discussing and researching and studying the Bible and the Word and reading other books. And so there's no shame in someone being a certain age and not thinking, because in my mind, I was like, look, I'm divorced. We've been divorced for years, but never did I think about there still could be some issues that was unresolved, whether, from the spiritual side, that I needed to deal with within myself. And so I can understand if a person don't think about that. And so that's why I say there
Yeah.
may be some ties to that, still with that divorced person that he has divorced, that hadn't been resolved, that he,
Emotionally,
yeah, that's
mentally.
preventing him from hearing God speaking to him.
Yeah. When I read it, I read that all day today. Um, yeah, and we have a video, a soul ties that's going to be released this week.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about soul ties, but yeah, that's what I got from he cannot hear from God, and it may be because they're still young. He's young. 43 is
Yeah.
young, so I'm assuming he's recently divorced. So he may still have some soul ties that is preventing him from hearing from God. Um, and it's like it's seeming he's in my mind. He's saying it seems like this is a perfect situation. I love being around this woman, or I enjoy being around her. She says she's what I want. Um, yeah, she made it to the live. Welcome, but I'm unsure.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it sounds like he is blocked from
Yeah, because it sounds like he's asked God and he hadn't heard an answer yet, and he's wondering, well, how can I be sure?
what's wrong, what is going on, why
And
can't I
and the
hear?
fact that he is a divorced man, that may be bringing the doubt too, because he's thinking, well, the first one didn't work, so I don't want to do this again unless I'm sure I'm with the right person.
Mm-hmm.
And so that could be where his questioning is coming from. He don't want to make the same mistakes he made the first time.
Yeah, he doesn't want. Yeah, it could be that, and it could be that he hears. Yep, you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, he has to do a lot of prayer and
Mm-hmm.
fasting.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that he hears, but he does not want to accept what God is saying. If he wouldn't have put the word divorce in there, I would have just assumed that she's just not the one, because
He's got doubt.
he got doubt. He's got doubt. But it could be that it's a block because the divorce, and he's still, but yeah, and that and I feel bad for that situation because you can be dating somebody and you thinking everything is going well,
Mm-hmm.
and the person has doubts,
Yeah.
and that's why I say have no
It's
expectations.
like that spark isn't there.
Right. Right, right. Hey, hey, Joan Glover Strotter. Yes, you made it to the live. That was your Vanita. Your comment. These comments they disappear so fast. Yeah, God is not a God of confusion.
No.
Exactly, exactly. So, it sounds like there's a block. Or he's just not. He's not accepting what God is saying. He needs to seek God. That's right. He needs to seek God. A lot of prayer and fasting. Welcome, welcome, T.
And look, y'all gonna learn us enough to know at the bottom line of every question, we're gonna push you back to God. We're gonna say, seek God, seek God, seek God.
These things are going. I don't know if it's your black shirt, but it's like it'll come up in the wording and then it'll disappear. I can't.
Well,
Ask those.
I wanna touch the text part, so
Oh,
but
maybe
I'm not
that'll.
sure if that's the right one to touch since we're live. I didn't
Oh
want it to
wait,
mess
hold
up.
on. Uh, I want. No, that's not
Yeah,
it.
so I didn't
Y'all
want
answer your questions. Did you see my question? Too much to write. The Bible is deep. Where to meet person you said y'all met on our dating app? Oh, that was another question. We got a lot of questions about the dating
yeah.
app that we were on. We ain't gonna tell y'all what it was because for one, we don't want to quote unquote advertise it, because we don't want to get tagged by YouTube. But I say that to say you don't want to go on that dating app because they had Terrence's profile up there and he wasn't even on the site. He didn't even have a membership. I don't know if I told y'all that, but the membership, they had his profile. They had two profiles of him up there, and he hadn't even been on the site for 5 years.
Yeah.
You coming off all dating apps? Why? Look at um, it's about Aisha asked your thought about sex before marriage. Girl, we got a whole video
Oh
on
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Go to our story.
Yeah.
We got a whole video. We had sex before we was married. And we moved in together before we was married. And I want to say I want to justify it, but really there's no excuse. But in let me just tell y'all the story real quick. I was relocating from Raleigh to Charlotte, and my lease was running out, and we were planning our wedding, which is our wedding was in Charlotte, and so logically in my head, it would be best if we, because we were buying a house at the time, it would be best that I would go ahead and end the lease, and I would move here. We would get an apartment, save money, plan the wedding, and then buy our house. So that was my brilliant idea. He went along with it. And I remember telling my mother, I was like, I feel bad because I had never lived with anybody. I never lived with nobody, no siblings, no nothing. I've always lived by myself since I moved out of my parents' house. And I said, I've never lived with anybody. I
Gotta
said,
thank God for moms.
yes. So I said, Mom. She said, well, since I said, I don't. I said, I'm feeling bad. Like I don't want to live with him before marriage, even though I knew it was only going to be for a few months. I said, I don't want to live with anybody before marriage. And she's like, oh well, since you're gonna have 3 bedrooms, why don't you take a room and he take a room? And I was like, ain't nobody doing that. Nobody doing that. We was already having sex before marriage, which was, when I tell you we moved in together, all hell broke loose.
You talking
We got
about
a whole video on it.
You talking about being out of alignment?
Out of alignment,
Woo!
out of the will of God, disobedience.
Oh my God.
We almost didn't make it down the aisle.
We had so much havoc.
Havoc. I mean, the enemy came in and messed up our finances. I mean, I will tell anybody, don't you do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And 4 months before we got married, 4 months before we got married, we made a decision that I would move out of our bedroom. I would move into the guest bedroom, and we were abstinent before we got married for 4 months.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something.
Who wants that on the enemy?
Nobody. Keeping what quiet until after we get married, of not being intimate, you still lying to yourself.
Well, God sees it all.
Yeah.
So you're not tricking anybody. You're not tricking the one that matters anyway. He knows.
It was the grace of God that, man, it was, it was like, okay, we got to stop this.
Yeah, we repented. We apologized. We asked for forgiveness. And we got as close as in alignment as we could get.
Right. As a matter of fact, we didn't go into, which we got married in 2022. Mm-hmm. It was New Year's Eve night. We decided that we were not going into 2022 having sex before marriage. I moved out the bedroom it was either that day or something, but we went into 2022 totally, just ask a question. We went in totally abstinent. Yeah. It wrecks it really messes with your ability to make wise decisions. When the Bible says something dies, the wages of sin is death. Yeah. Oh, we real transparent here.
Yeah, because that's the whole point of we can't help you with our experiences if we're not being transparent.
Celibacy. That's what I meant to say. Celibacy, not abstinence. Celibacy. That's what it was. Thank you for that. Yeah. We
So yeah, that's why we
Yeah, if the
talk
guy
about being
just stares at you, you is a guy that likes you, stares at you. Yeah, he might be pursuing you. Let him pursue you.
there.
Yeah, let him stare. Let him stare. He's watching, and it's a. Let me tell y'all, it's a whole. Yeah, y'all, a lot of y'all don't know people. Men are watching y'all. Lot y'all women, y'all think we got it all in control and we know everything. Y'all don't know that there's somebody watching you.
Hmm.
Hmm. Girl, I said that too. The man God has for me, he gonna wait until we married. I said all of that. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Um, I tried to do that with your ex and he was not going for it. Yeah, we ain't make no rules. We ain't say no 30-day rules. None of that. We just didn't. We ain't say no thing. And the thing is, and I'm not to tell our business, but let me just say, well, no, you wasn't. It had been a long time for me. And so one of the things that before knowing barely what is trauma related. How old is too old? 34. 34. You 34. Child, you young. How can God send me my husband if I work a lot and don't go hang out? God can do anything.
No, don't
How
question
old
God.
for a
He can do
34-year?
anything.
How old, Miss Jill, how old is too old for a 34? I don't get that question. 34,
Look,
30.
let's come to
Yeah,
an
Lady
agreement right
Felicia, tell
now.
them you are young and that's a young. Enjoy your 30s.
Let's come to an agreement right now. First of all, you have to stop questioning what God can and can't do.
Right.
God can do anything in any circumstances that He chooses to do.
Well, she said, I know that's right. She said, that's my son's age. That's our children's age. Who dates and think he is a good person, but just struggling with a few things, habitual lie. Oh, habitual lying. You can judge them by their fruits.
Yes.
Habitual liar. No. Did you guys know you were soulmates when you first met? Of course, yes. We got videos on that. Yeah, I knew before he knew. It's not for I've been married too many times. I think it's not for I've been married to. Well, you just haven't found the one. I'm 47. I'm waiting on my husband. I was 47 years old. I was waiting for my husband too. Wedding photos. Yeah, we have our whole wedding video. Our
Right.
wedding video is on, and we got our engagement photos, but all of that is um,
The playlist.
on our playlist. Our love story, our wedding videos on there. Children I raised my grandmother, Michelle. I was just wondering. That's all. I'm sorry about that. Oh no. What do? That goes so quick. You've been married 7 times. Ooh, Jesus. I'm 52 and I'm believing God. Yes. 52. I told y'all we have a family friend that's just turned 75 and she had her wedding and her she celebrated at her reception her 75th birthday. And when I say a wedding, like a full wedding gown, veil, bridesmaids, all of that. 75. Yes. Yes, she made it to the live. I can scroll down the they it's like they're disappearing, so I don't see where we can scroll. Where? Uh, Look at God. Look at God. All we had to do was touch the screen. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, God can do anything. If you're a homebody, I mean, believe you can believe it could be the
Look, we're both homebodies,
it could be the
and God
UPS
introduced
driver.
us.
The UPS look. Don't underestimate the Amazon delivery
And
guy. You just don't
that's
know.
one of the reasons why we're saying don't put expectations on God. Because you're saying, well, I don't go anywhere, so He's gonna have to come do
Don't
X,
put
Y,
no
Z.
put no
Don't
limitations.
put limitations on God, because God can do anything.
He
All
can
you
do
need to do is
anything.
let your petitions be known to Him, and you got to believe.
Trust that he
You
gonna
have
do
to
it.
believe,
Mm-hmm.
and stop saying it can't happen because X, Y, Z.
You are canceling out your belief.
Yes.
Yeah.
God
God.
loves every single one of y'all. He ordained marriage. So he can do anything you would like him to do. You have to let him know that that's what you want.
Yep. And walk in your belief. Walk in
Yes.
your belief. Watch what you say out. If
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest advice I can give, is that we say we want God, but then we'll say, nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for,
Mm-hmm.
he ain't calling on time. He ain't consistent. Ain't nobody got time for that. Watch what you say. Yes, embrace your single season. Yes, you pray a
Mm-hmm.
lot. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Stay on that face. Because there's some things you don't even know what he's dealing with right now.
Yeah.
When is a good time to mention abstinence or celibacy in the relationship? I would not. This is the thing, and I'm glad you brought that up. So, somebody had made a comment and said every time they're on a dating site, only thing these men want is sex. That's all they want is sex. Let me say this: you attract what spirit is in you. I never had a problem with a man in anybody that I dated, a man pressing me for sex or require. So I answer that question, when do you have the conversation about sex? Let me tell you something. The way you carry yourself will signal him of what he can't do and can't what he can and cannot do, and what in your standards. Some things you don't even need to say. They will respect you enough where they're not going there. They don't want to mess it. The person God has for you ain't gonna want to mess it up. Trust me. I wanted the sex. I Even in that video that we did, Terrence was never the person like, I gotta have sex. I gotta have, oh my God, I'm sex hungry. I gotta have sex. He was never that person. Ever. Ever. Yes. Yeah. And you can kind of also, I would say, let the conversation become, be organic, because it'll go there. It'll go there where you could start having the sex talk. He was saying because you was not willing to have sex. Yeah, I think when if you're attracting those types of men, do some introspection, and
Mm-hmm.
because they feel like they can approach you that way. You're attracting that type of guy. You told him goodbye. I know that's right. Aisha, you say you having the same experience as well. Yeah. The, the Bible says you will know them by their fruits.
Yeah.
You will know them by their fruit. So yeah. You said you stopped praying. It wasn't happening for me. Wow. Yeah, we're doing a video on soul ties. It's gonna be released this week. Yeah, you gotta yeah, if you the way you carry yourself will it'll be, the right man ain't gonna want to cross those lines. They're gonna want to.
That's why we point you back to God. If
Mm-hmm.
God is ordering your steps and you're asking Him for your soulmate and who He has for you, your God ordained mate, He's not gonna send you somebody that's gonna try to violate you. He's gonna send you somebody that not only respects what you want, He also respects God and what God wants, which means you're gonna be covered.
Mm-hmm. And when we knew we messed up,
Woo, we stop.
we both was like, what? All hell broke loose. Yeah, a God fearing man. Yeah, a God fearing man is gonna want to handle you with care.
Mm-hmm.
Very respectful. You've been divorced since 2017. I haven't had so much gotten a man's phone number since, but I'm so afraid to meet guys. Remove the fear. Remove the fear. Go on YouTube and get you those scriptures. There's a whole playlist out there of scriptures that break the spirit of fear, and put them in your ear while you sleep. Because the enemy, that's the setup for the enemy. That means whoever God has for you, it's going to be a powerful relationship. Remove the fear. How did you all mess up? It was a daggone pandemic, and we had nothing else to do but sit in the house.
Pretty much.
And because we were long distance, it automatically made us.
Want each other even more because we didn't see each other, so we had time to miss each other.
We had, yeah, and when we were together, it was like I had to either go to his house and spend a night for the weekend, or he had to come to my house and spend a night for the weekend. And at the end of the day,
It's
no.
called being human.
And at the end of the day, we ain't had no excuse. Ain't no excuse.
But as soon as we knew, that put us out of alignment.
And let me tell you, it cost us. It cost us. Yeah. Yeah, it cost us. We start seeing all hell start breaking loose. Yeah. Did you feel guilty? Yeah. Yeah. It was repenting. I remember the day we went in that fast together. We was like, we gotta break this. We broke that. And thank God we didn't have like the spirit of lust. Like it wasn't when I, not to be graphic, but it really was love making. It was not gotta have sex. It wasn't like that. Hey Wanda. Wanda been rocking with us since day one. I've heard that most have had sexual encounter before marriage. It happens. It was mutual intimacy. Yes, it was. It was mutual, respectful. We love you too, Wanda. When you coming back to NC? Because my ex and I definitely struggled with lust. Yeah, we didn't have the spirit of lust. It wasn't a lustful thing. It definitely wasn't lust. In May, oh, that's a long time. Okay. Did you all meet on a dating site? We did. Our story, go to our playlist. We kind of met on a dating site. You saying at 34, I shouldn't desire marriage as a God-fearer? Yes, you should. You should definitely. If you want marriage, yes, exactly. Yes, but what I'm saying is don't be worried right now at 34 that you're not married. Like, well, you should be worried at any age.
That's the whole point of pointing you back to God. Because as long as God's got you, you can get married tomorrow. If God is the one that's saying, I got somebody for you right now, say I do right now, you're good. But don't think you have to do something because of a certain age by age. Because then you're going to make a decision for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't go well.
And I do understand that age, that 30th age, because you're feeling like, you want to have a baby. And so I do understand that. Which one did you meet on, if you don't mind me? We talked about that. We're not going to give the dating site here. But we wouldn't recommend it anyway. Because yeah. That's how we know God is God. Because Terrence's profile was so outdated. He was not even on the dating app anymore. They were still running his profile, both of his profiles that he made, and he wasn't even on the date. He hadn't been on that. I came across him in 2018. He hadn't been on that dating site since 2013. 5 years. I'm wondering, should you cut a man off if he's a good man, but his relationship with God isn't where it should be? I wouldn't. I mean, I would seek God about that because you could be the one who is introducing him to Christ. Do I recommend a dating site? I do, and it got H in it, and it's not the newest one that got the H in it. I know so many people that are happily married from dating apps. Like
it's truly the people.
It's truly the people.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
And again, I hate to sound like a recorder, but that's why we point you back to Christ.
Yeah. And you got to get on one of those, a really serious, reputable, not one of them hookup dating sites. You got to get on a very, very reputable. If you email us Terrence and Jill at Gmail, I'll respond with the one I highly recommend. We actually used to have a brand deal with this one. We no longer have a brand deal with the one we're recommending, but
But
that's
we
the one.
still feel good about them versus the others.
You're right. So if you email us, I will respond. But yeah. So yeah, there you have it, y'all. We ain't nobody perfect here. God could do anything.
Yeah.
You started following us. Thank you so much. The place where people are serious about being married. That's right. Can
Mm-hmm.
I suggest a powerful soul tie book? Yes, of course. We're doing soul tie video this week. It's being released this week. You've been watching your our videos. Thank you. You too have a very interesting story. Yes, we thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Look, we appreciate y'all sharing this afternoon with us.
Wonderful. What is your email address? Terrence and Jill, TERENCEANDJILL at Gmail. Are you going to be live every Tuesday? Yep, we go live every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
Seductions exposed. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, we have a video that's dropping on soul ties this week. I didn't grow up with a father to teach me things. I love your personalities. Thank you. I just started following you guys. This is so needed. You're 42 and single. Hey, hey. The title of the book, that book was Seduction Exposed. Um, Hearing our testimonies open up to God's part. Yes. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of it is mindset. The Bible talks so much about renewing your mind. A lot of it is that we've got to be reprogrammed. It is a mindset. It is a mindset. You got to reprogram your mind. Um, can I possibly interview you one on YouTube channel? Yes, email us. Yes, yes. Um, Thank you, Erica Gordon, for following us tonight. Get more men from other countries than America. Okay. Okay, God is all over the world. Yes. Would you, let me ask you this, would you relocate to another country? Yes, Wanda. We know we talk about mindset. It is all about mindset. You gotta pull down those. First of all, let me tell y'all something with mindset. Take away that story you made up, that fairy tale story you made up in your head. Take Destroy that fantasy, destroy that. Because what's happening is that if the person comes in your life and they don't fit what's in your mind, Wanda, I know you would relocate. They don't fit what's in your mind, you're automatically writing them off even before they even approach you. That's your struggle. Uh, yeah, you gotta remove that story, all of that, all about how your wedding is gonna be, how your house is gonna, squash all of that, remove all of that. How you, because what's happening is that it's almost like any man or do also, they just need to just come in into your whole fairy tale, and if they don't come in and fit into your whole dynamic, it's gonna be conflict. Remove it all. Let me tell y'all something. I What I thought in my 20s of when I was gonna get married, I was gonna have this fall wedding and it was gonna be like this. And it was nothing like that. I had a spring wedding, which was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, everything that I thought I was gonna have, it was totally opposite.
Let me share something with y'all. You know, we talked about in our earlier videos before a lot of you come along about making lists and what we think about lists. It's the same thing about that story that you have in your head. And what we mean is, or what I mean now is, when God introduces you to who He have, that person is going to have what you had on that list most likely, but it's going to have about 50 or 60 things that you didn't even know you needed tomorrow, next year, next 10 years that you don't even know about yet that you're going to need, that person is going to have some type of qualities or some type of skill set to help you through that as well. That's why it's important to put it in God's hands. If you go out there and say, I'm going to just go off my list, you may leave some things off your list that you need tomorrow because you just don't know about it.
I wouldn't have never asked for a kind man, ever. I wouldn't have ever asked for a kind man. That would have never been on my list, a kind man.
So when you trust in God, you got to trust him all the way.
And a kind man is everything. Yes, they do. And that's one of our favorite. I love dear future wifey. Lateris, listen to this. Yes, we would love to fly out to Houston. Well, maybe drive.
Yeah, this country's getting tripped about planes right now.
We might have to drive for 15, 16 hours. But yeah. Hey, there go Quinessa.
Oh, she's not on here though.
Oh, she's on Facebook.
Yeah,
okay.
That's just a notification.
Okay. But yeah, I would never have guessed that. I would have never thought to have the quality of and that's a fruit of a kind man. And a kind man is everything that I needed. Everything that I needed. So, yeah. Have your list, but don't have that's the scripture. God will give you the desires of your heart. Is so fierce. It means that he will put his desires in your hearts. We think it means, everything we want in my heart.
Give it to us.
But he will literally put the desires in your heart. Yep. We are inspiring. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We try.
Yeah, man, looking back, I just don't see how people do this marriage without God.
I don't know, because let me tell you something. That first year of marriage, when you are breaking down self and merging lives together, I understand why people divorce in their first 2 years.
Yeah.
And we couldn't have never done it without God.
And Jill always said from the first time we met that, marriage is the best personal development program there is.
Ever.
Because when you sleep with somebody and y'all living together, they find out everything you don't want other people to know about you.
Yes, I love Ruth and Boaz.
And it's just, it humbles you to all. I mean, it's crazy.
Yes, the book of Proverbs. Definitely. I think every single woman should be reading Proverbs. Definitely. Every single woman should be reading the book of Ruth. Definitely. And also Genesis 2. Definitely. Wisdom. And ask for wisdom. God said he gives it to whoever is asking for it. He gives it. And so yeah. Breaking generate. You just watched our video on breaking generational curses. Yeah, we're gonna also talk about soul ties. I think Thursday that video comes out. Soul ties. That'll be the next video, I think. But yeah, because you'd be surprised at how many people are blocked
and don't know they're blocked.
Don't know they are blocked. And you wondering what's wrong with you. And it's things that are in the subconscious, things that are just, so, yep. All right, y'all. No more questions. We're going to wrap it up. What is our email address? It's Terrence, TERENCE, and AND, Jill, JILL. I don't believe my husband is here. You're in Charlotte? Wait a minute. Who is that? You're in Charlotte. Say that again. We're in Charlotte. We need to have like a meet and greet. Who's in North Carolina? We definitely need to get together. We're now 50s, gentlemen not in a financial position to purchase a home. You guys are in your 50s. Why is the gentleman not in a why isn't my husband in a financial position to purchase a home? Is that what you're asking? Let me see that again. Okay, Columbia, Burlington. You did say Burlington. Can you put in the chat? I've been wanting to move to North Carolina. Come on. I moved from Maryland. And let me tell you, do you have videos on finances when it comes to courting before marriage? No, we don't. Do we offer coaching? Actually, you know what? I have a Christian coaching certificate. I'm a nonprofit development coach, but yeah, we were thinking about like really opening up coaching. You're in the university area. Wow. Wow, we need to get together. Yeah, we were really thinking about coaching. Like really, really. We gotta find the time. We got three businesses. We got three businesses. So yep, so that's a relationship retreat. Yes, yes.
Oh, we got the best spot
We
too.
went to
Oh
Martha's
my
Vineyard
goodness.
last year for our anniversary. We went to Martha's Vineyard. And I would like to know how important it is when it comes to finances. Thank you all for sharing. You've inspired me. Oh, thank you, Monique. How important what is the relationship? Oh, it's finances is very high up in there. What part of Maryland am I from? I actually my home that I purchased was in Gaithersburg, but my family is from PG County, Maryland, Upper Marlboro, Bowie. Do we have prayers to break delay in marriage? Um, is it not good to keep my wedding video? Oh, child. That's and we. Oh, I'm glad you said that because that's actually in a soul tie video. Getting rid of some stuff. What do you do about people that are monitoring you? Oh, you got to break that. A monitoring spirit. You got to break that. How to love a partner who is hard to love. We did a video on that. Did we do that video? No, we were gonna do that video. Being hard to love. My sister goes there, First Baptist Church of Glenart and John Jenkins. My sister goes to that church. Watch the videos about what to look for. Yeah, what to look for in a spouse. Yes. These questions are coming fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Looking forward to your soul tie video. Yeah. God's timing is perfect. Just pray. Yes, right.
Mm-hmm.
How what, Alberta? How I don't know your question. God showed me my 55 and been single for 7 years. Oh, oh man. Oh, there it is. Home every I say I need to get out the house, but where is the specific place to go? Oh, we need to do the video on Providence. It ain't a specific. God is ordering your steps. I don't care where you go. You can go to the mailbox and meet your husband. When God orders your steps.
And that's why we're saying give it to God and
Yeah.
stop limiting him by saying it can't happen because you only go to the mailbox.
Oh, she asked about how to get rid of a monitoring spirit. That's a demonic spirit. She needs to pray prayers. How to get rid of the monitoring. What did you prayers look like when you were waiting? My main prayer. I'm gonna just be honest. Like my main prayer was no good thing will he withhold from me if I walk up right before him. When I say I said that day in, day out, day in, day out, day in. I fasted a lot. I knew that God ordained marriage. I pray the word. So we used to have 20 scriptures that we prayed.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that download anymore when we had our website. But we had 20 scriptures. I would suggest you all go get you 5 good scriptures and you pray those scriptures. Pray those scriptures and all things are possible. Like go pray those scriptures, and that's what we did. We prayed the word. Mm-hmm. We knew that God ordained marriage, and yeah.
And then there's a lot of things you can watch what you say that's very subtle. Like for an example, when you say I am, anytime you say I am, anything that comes after that has got to be positive and it's got to be life.
It's got to be life.
You can't say I'm tired or something negative. You have to put something positive behind that.
When you can't shake somebody from, that's a stronghold. That's a it could be a soul tie. You got to pull the my prayer area got scripture everywhere. I know that's right. That's right. That's right. Them little cute little mantras people we saying they cute, but they ain't got no power behind them. Get the word. Mm-hmm.
Watch who you hang out with.
Yes,
Don't
watch you
spend a
hang
lot of
out.
time with people that are being negative and you're co-signing what they're
Yeah, watch the
saying, because
conversations.
you bring that negativity and you bring that death onto you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. All right, y'all. It's been 65 minutes
Yeah.
and past the Smith's bedtime. So, all right, yeah, it's been good. We are on every Tuesday night live,
7 p.m. Eastern
7
Standard
p.m.
Time.
Eastern Standard Time, and expectations. We talked about expectations. Yep. Until next Tuesday. Yeah, y'all drop y'all comments also under the videos. We're looking at. We trying to get through them. We're trying to get there.
Yeah.
No, you don't understand why men don't stay in my life. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
We did a video on that
Yeah,
recently. Yeah.
yeah. It's something you might. I mean, and at the end of the day, could they just not? This is. I'm glad you brought that up. When you put it in God's hands, sometimes uh you're gonna wonder why they come and go. They ain't the one.
You should thank them
Yes.
for leaving.
Sometimes you ain't even gonna know the reason why they just disappear. One day y'all cool and then they just we got videos on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speak the word only. That's right, Crystal. Speak the word. Speak the word. Yeah, speak the word. The word will not return void. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So yep. Yeah. All right, y'all. All right. It's good hanging out and meeting you all. Is that my sister Nene? Nene, that's you? What do you think of biracial coupling for completely different worlds? I think biracial couples are beautiful. If it's God ordained, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. All right, because the
And look, you
question can
guys
keep
enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yes.
And we look forward to hanging out with you guys on the next one.
Yes. All right. Y'all be blessed. Drop the questions. Y'all can always ask us questions. Email us, terrenceandjill@gmail.com. And we'll bring them to the table next week. Next week. Y'all wide awake in Arizona? Well, we about to go to sleep in North Carolina. Thank y'all. Y'all be blessed. Deuces.